G'day viewers, I'm Simon Christie and welcome to Life Off-Road. This week it's our second day of exploring the off-road opportunities northwest out of Brisbane. We're not far from Kenilworth and I've got a sneaky suspicion that it's going to be a long, hard day. Let's get into it.
So it was another fantastic Queensland day. The sun was out, the birds were chirping, and the terrain was a complete 180 from the day before.
We headed off into the forestry in the back of Kenilworth, contrasting environment between where we were on the beach the day before to where we are today.
Two different things and not so far apart, and it's definitely, if you're wanting to do a weekend away and experience a couple of different terrains, it's not hard to do it and you're not far out of Brisbane. When there was this nice little warm-up track off to the side that we gave a go.
Not too bad at the start, but then it started to get a little bit rutty and gnarly.
Good bit of real up in the air action, which was a bit of fun. It wasn't too extreme, we had a really good spotter there, giving everyone the right lines.
Having a guide like Simon who knows, who's experienced, who's been there, and will not put you in a situation that you can't get out of or he can't get you out of it.
You have to be on the UHF, just communicating well and following really good protocols. So you're comfortably able to rely on your ability as a spotter to tackle a challenge like that.
Certainly challenging in some areas, plenty of loose rock and shale. There's a few big drop-offs with holes in that could easily kick up a rear wheel. If you didn't know what you were doing, you could easily end up on your side.
So I only picked up the Ranger about 2 months ago and haven't properly had the chance to flex its muscle. There was one really good descent there where I actually lifted the back wheels on. In the moment, I was really nervous. Clenching the wheel going, oh my God, I've got my brand new truck in a situation I'm not too sure about. With Simon's effort in guiding me through, I got it out with no scratches.
We continued along the track and we joined onto Blackheart track. It did get a little bit sticky and soft.
Hold there, we're going to go for tread forward.
So we saw the Iveco get stuck in a pretty big mud hole. So I raced off to my car and got the blue Tread Pros off it. What you'll see is that you've got a tyre that gets buried down inside a hole and you're wedging a board down in there trying to get that little bit of initial traction. So what we wanted to do is when we designed the Tread Pro was to create a better way of hugging that tyre, and that's how we came up with our concave convex design. So the concave design on the entry ramp of our recovery board is designed to hug the tyres. Then the overall board design is convex. So you want to get more surface area actually engaging on the tyres to give you that better traction. As the board pulls down, it then is going to roll outside that hole. We patented these sight blocks. Now these sight blocks engage with one common denominator in all tyres, and that is the water evacuation channel. So these sight blocks are actually designed to grab the board, pull it down to get that a little bit of initial traction straight away.
This sort of terrain is the awesome spot to be testing that mighty Iveco. Now the issue here was that it's just a little bit slippery on the floor, and what we don't want to do is be roaring through these holes and tearing them up, making them worse. Throwing the tread traction boards down gives that little bit of extra grip to protect the environment, give the tyres the traction they need, and pull the truck up and through.
What's really important is you've got multiple recovery methods. Sometimes you don't want to get the winch out. Sometimes your winch itself has failed for some reason or other. Sometimes your batteries have got charge issues. So to have a second avenue of recovery is quite important.
It's been a long time since I've been to Imbil State Forest, and sort of planning what we're going to do this trip, I wanted to head back and try it out, and I was really, really impressed. I mean, the diversity of trails at Imbil is just amazing. You've got creek crossings, just shallow creek crossings, and obviously in heavy rains you wouldn't attempt.
Quite a number of good water crossings in that little Yabba Road, very picturesque. Just in the middle of the forest you come across a nice stream, not too deep, nice bit of water splash, good for the cameras obviously, and it did wash a bit of the salt from yesterday out from under the cars as well.
We had a few river crossings also within the mix on these tracks. You do need to read a river crossing. People think it's water, it's not that deep. I just saw a car go through it. You don't know if it's soft underneath, you don't know if it's rocky, you don't know how deep. The majority of our vehicles on this trip do have snorkeling on it. Some cars don't, but at the end of the day, you don't go tearing through a water crossing without basically walking it or testing it. Very important.
These beautiful little creek crossings, and then mud holes, and then you've got some really nice steep wheel up hills. It was quite challenging, and then some of the descents were some big washouts. It was really good diverse terrain for a couple of just simple tracks that you could easily do in a day.
When looking for your next set of tyres, the main thing you want to look for, we've abbreviated, is TCC, which is tread carcass compound. You want to be looking for a tyre which has got the latest innovative tread designs, such as mud pockets, side biters, got stone ejectors, and you've got a nice big flex groove around the side. These are the latest innovations in tyres. The next thing you want is a good quality carcass on the tyre, nice and strong, and it's going to do the job you want. A little bit similar to these with the power ply construction, which reduces torque request, improves the handling of the vehicle, stops the tyre turning so much when you accelerate, gets power to the ground. The other part you want is compound, just to make sure the tyre has the right amount of silica and mix in it, so you get a good tyre that handles in the wet, keeps the tyre quiet on the road, and also improves the mileage of the tyre.
Scenery throughout some of the tracks were fantastic. What you saw was dirt, rocks, a bit of dust, but all the cars got through it, all the cars were unscathed.
Once we got out there, Simon showed no mercy to the Iveco. Of course, you drive something like this, you've got to go to every single track that he points you in the direction of, and if you don't do that, it's just basic four-wheel drive etiquette, isn't it? It's just, you just need to do it. So he pointed us in the direction of some bog holes, which you clearly didn't think you're going to get through. Some of them were a lot more significant once you're actually in them as well. Some of them are probably about that high on the vehicle.
All of us took the chicken track around it, but the Iveco ploughed straight through. He knew what he was in for, and I think he got more than what he was bargaining for.
We all seen that Iveco. That is a vehicle on steroids. It's a beautiful vehicle, high clearance, amazingly capable. So Simon, being Simon, thought, let's see what we can do and push it through some paces, and it took on some challenges that we all looked at and just cringed at in our vehicles.
This is one serious bog hole. It's the sort of terrain we've been looking for and we're ready to have a crack. Now the only vehicle that is really capable of tackling this is the big Iveco, but just in case, we're ready for a recovery. Let's get into it.
We found one particular bog hole that we thought we'd have a go putting the Iveco through. It near swallowed the Iveco.
Left hand down.
Iveco through just to test it out, and it did perform tremendously. It's the first time I've ever seen anyone step off the side of a bog hole straight into the truck, so it's definitely deep.
I mean, it made the vehicle look small when it was in there. That's how deep that hole was.
The 37-inch tyres were at their limit on that. I think you needed 44s to go through it. It was very, very deep, very soft.
We had to winch it out. Now, because of where the anchor point was, there was a fair bit of line rubbing against the force fairly, which generates a fair amount of heat on the synthetic rope.
We had a situation, winch was put under too much pressure, pulling out, I suppose, the size of an Iveco and the weight of an Iveco. The rope fared up really well, but unfortunately did fray and snap on us.
The dampener pulled that line straight down, and being that it was synthetic rope, it holds so little energy and doesn't elongate as much as, say, a wire rope will. It drops really quick and safe to the ground.
Although it was synthetic, it's still really important to have the dampers in place to protect you, your friends, or even your family.
We used multiple recovery methods. One of the recovery methods was obviously winching. When you start winching on something like this with a rope that can carry 24,000 pounds and you break that rope coming out of a hole, that's when you know you're forward driving out here with Simon.
So, with the winch rope on the Iveco broken, Chris comes to the rescue with a splicing kit of all things.
We've got one winch on this vehicle, we're in a fairly deep bog hole, and the only way you're going to get out is by fixing that or getting somebody else to tow you. When you're in a large truck, you don't have the towing option normally, so you have to make sure that not only is your equipment up to the task and of size that's suitable, but you also know how to use equipment and also how to repair the equipment when necessary. Like myself, I've been spliced for over 10 years, and it reminds you that you've got to keep on top of these things, and from time to time you've got to practice.
Now, I haven't spliced for a long time, but Simon called me straight up. Just lucky I had my splicing pins and tape in my little toolkit that I carry off-road with me all the time.
The canopy is great, it protects your gear. When you open up the canopy, we've gone and put sliding tray, which is our tray. I don't need to crawl into it to grab anything from the front. Just basically slide it out and it locks in position, so if the car is on an angle like mine is right now, it won't slide back in, but comes out all the way. You can carry 350 kilos on this, weight spread evenly, but even if I stop it there, how easy is it to get stuff out of the vehicle? Basically slide the floor out, get what you need, slide the floor back in, and you're done. We took advantage of the situation. We all jumped in the back of the tray and had a group shot. Why not? It wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah, it was,
So once Chris was able to get the rope spliced, we rechanged the angle of the line to get a straighter angle on the pull. Pulled the Iveco out, fully capable, rinsed it out, and no issues.
But with ruts like that, do be cautious with them. You need a wheel, you need to have tread boards, must install them in winch on the spot.
Yeah, after watching the Iveco, I decided to take the jigger track to the left. Poor old Prado with his 32-inch tyres, there was going to be no match, especially after someone had been through with 37s. And I don't think the regular driver of this vehicle would be too impressed if I came back handing him the keys and gave him the GPS locations of where I left the car.
Basically, you're saying down Pixel Road, there's a tree down.
Yeah, there's a tree down where the E is, roughly, and you can't really turn around there.
We're heading into storm season here in Queensland, and there's been a couple of bigger storms pass through over the last couple of days, and there was a couple of tree downs, not just one, but 2 trees down, which made for fun in many respects because we all got to band together, do our part as a team. We had an axe, probably should have carried a chainsaw this time round, but who would have known?
Later on in the afternoon, we're heading back. We were hoping to get there early so we can get in some dinner. Unfortunately, when you want to be somewhere, you come across 2 trees, right in the middle of the track. We'd never chainsaw because we didn't have Alan or Arnold, who normally carries a chainsaw, or Jake from Nava. So we decided to axe the trees.
So if it wasn't for the effort put in by the whole team, we would have been there for much longer. It was good to see everyone getting in there and just having a crack.
They were in a position on the track that unfortunately we couldn't go back. It was a little bit too dangerous to reverse back up the track. So all we had was the trusty mean mother winch and an axe.
It was a big steep decline, so there was nowhere to turn around, and it would have been like a few k's of backwards uphill in the dusk.
A winch can be an expensive investment, but here are a few things to look for in the market when looking for a winch. Line speed, current draw, and also quality of the overall housing and build. You can generally check these specs on the manufacturer's website or before you buy the winch, but there are many other features that are also important. In a quality winch, there are things you should be looking for, like copper tin power leads, because they give you better conductivity with the power and they also last longer and are less susceptible to corrosion. You want to brake with a proper drum shooter, not simply a spring-loaded pressure device. You also want high efficiency and a low amp draw. You also want a high-quality solenoid pack that has silver-coated terminals. When investing in a winch, do your research and get the right winch for your needs.
It wasn't quite big enough for the Iveco, so the only opportunity we had was to all push it. We all pushed on the log, it all rolled out of the way, and it was like clockwork. Got through there, probably took us a few hours, but it was well worth the experience, if nothing else.
Because that went on late into the night, like we hit it right on sort of the home stretch, it meant we got to do a bit of night driving.
Guess what? We all got to use our lights. So we have to do night driving. I've never done it before, it blew my mind, but in turn, nervous is an understatement.
We ended up all driving at night. Now normally on the road, you don't run high beams, you worry about mirror reflecting in people's eyes when you're behind them, that sort of stuff. But what happens is you light up the entire area. We all have our light bars on, we'll have spotlights on, and it really gives you a good place to see where you've got to go. You've got distance, you leave enough distance between each vehicle, you can still plot where your wheels are going. Make sure before you drive at night that you've got the right equipment so you can see. But more importantly, look out for shadows and things like that, because some of these tracks don't get traversed often, some of them have got filthy holes in there and you can come unstuck.
So that was just an amazing beach-to-bush run that we did. Simon and his team are just sensational, and all these industry experts that you get to spend a few days with, learning about their product, and also just sharing stories of where they've been or what they've done.
So this is my first trip with a crew from Life Off-Road, and what an absolute blast. I mean, meeting a bunch of people in the industry, swapping stories and getting good ideas, it was just so much fun. You couldn't ask for more.
Love having these trips with Simon. I love being invited. The especially because we just get to see beautiful parts of our country that I haven't seen.
Overall, the day's been fantastic. We had a wonderful time, and I'm really looking forward to the next trip.
This is my first trip out here with Simon and all the other boys. And when you actually see the guys out here getting stuck into it and really having a good time, you realise that it's not just a group of companies, it's a group of mates getting together. We've got lots of experiences as businesses, but we've also got more experiences as friends.
Viewers, what an epic adventure. Queensland has certainly turned it on for us. From the beaches to the bush, from killer donuts through to massive tree recoveries, we've seen and done it all. We've survived it. Well viewers, make sure you're watching Life Off-Road next week for our next adventure. I'm Simon Christie. Tread lightly, keep it safe, play hard. I'll see you then.